Welcome to the Beware tutorial series. In this tutorial, we will be covering how to add a new worker into the Beware Safety Manager system. Once you are logged in, click Do and then click Workers. What is displayed here is a register of the workers in your company. Guidance on how to set up the column headers of the register and contents of the left and right hand menus are covered in a different video. On the top left, click the plus sign to add a new worker. You will see at the top, based on the numbers inside the circles, that this is a multi-step process to add a new worker into the system. The data that has been populated here helps to populate and navigate other parts of the site that we will cover in other tutorials. Step 1. Personal details. These fields are pretty self-explanatory. Fill out the relevant fields below, or as many as you have information for. Click on the Save button to save your entries and move directly to the next step. Step 2. Job details. This is where you can fill in the individual fields to identify the worker's job title, assign a system group which determines the level of access they have within the Safety Manager. This will be covered in more detail in a different tutorial. Who they report to, standard hours of work, and other professional or industry-related information, such as when they entered your industry. This establishes their experience level when they are linked to a site-specific safety plan in the Workplace section, a feature of our Pro version. Again, click on the Save button to save your entries and move directly to the next step. Step 3. Induction records. This step allows you to record when your worker completed a health and safety induction and who presented the induction. A copy of their signed induction document can be directly uploaded as future evidence of this process. Again, click on the Save button to save your entries and move directly to the next step. Step 4. System access. This step enables you to set the worker up with login details for the site and/or the Responder app. Click New User to import them into the system and set them up with the username and password. Once they have a password from you, they can go in and change it at any time. Once the employee has been set up in the register, click the expander arrow next to their name. This is where we can see all of the information that applies to this specific worker, add more details, or edit existing details. Details. This allows you to click on each step to make sure all of the information collected is correct and allows you to collect additional information. Steps 1 through 3 and 5 are included in the Add a New Worker process. Step 4, however, is added as an additional step once the base level of information has been collected. This step is where we can add worker training requirements. Some training and competency items may have been selected for the system group assigned to the worker during Step 2. As stated earlier, this will be covered in more detail in the system group tutorial. To add or change their training requirements, click the Select icon on the top left. The pop-up will allow you to search training items by type, or on the right, or scroll through the list. This list will display the training items recorded in your training register. Add the training items that your employee needs by clicking on the plus sign on the right. Once you have clicked the plus sign, that item is removed from the list, so as not to cause confusion or choose the same thing twice. Once you click out of the menu, you will see that the training items selected have been added to the worker's profile. Next, on the top left, click PPE. This is where you are able to record the issue of personal protective equipment. When first entering the page for a new worker, some items may appear in red. These items have been selected for the system group assigned to the worker during Step 2. Therefore, if the item is colored red, the item is required but has not yet been issued. Blue, required and has been issued. This color change will happen once you click on the red items, adding them to the PPE grid on the right-hand side for issue. Green, non-group specific items which have been issued. Gray, not issued. On the right-hand side of the screen, we can now edit the equipment that the worker was given, size, quantity, and date of expiration. All of this information populates other parts of the site that we will cover in other videos. This is the best way to keep track of exactly what items or personal protective equipment have been issued to workers. Once the contents of this page have been saved, the records of issue are automatically updated in the Workers tab. On the left, click Training. This is where we can see what training and skills each worker has. Training records are grouped by their competency level. N, not trained. I, under instruction. R, requires supervision. P, proficient. T, trainer. C, completed. By clicking on either of the NIR-PT filters, that will enable you to group the selected competency by level. Click Incidences on the top left. Here is where we can view any incidences or events in which the worker has been involved. This information is populated using the Incident section of our site, which we will cover in another video. Click History on the top left. Here is where we can see all history items relevant to the worker. Entries are either automatically generated when data is entered into other sections of the system, or free text comments added using the plus button above. Click Information on the top left. Here is where all relevant information and documents can be linked to the worker. The files on the right-hand side are those stored in the System's Information section. Simply click on the stored files to link them to your worker. To upload a document outside of your System Information library, click Browse at the bottom to find it on your computer. That covers our Workers Input tutorial. Thank you for watching.